Welcome to another episode of Don't You Have Something Better to Do after that theme music. Tonight, I got my old buddy from originally from Erie, Pennsylvania. Um, Now all the way out in Arizona. We're gonna have him on. He's currently publishing his own books and he started his own publishing company. And we'll talk about, met him back when he was in a band, but now he's got his publishing company. In the meantime, don't forget to check out chrisdonleymusic.com, all my projects and everything, criticcity.com, lovelag.com. I'm currently putting every release, even the weird stuff, up on my BandCamp. And also, there's just tons and tons and tons of stuff on my Patreon, patreon.com/chrisdonleymusic. And I made it $5 across the board. So if you wanted to check out all my stuff, please check that out. Only $5 a month. Yeah. And please subscribe to the Chris Donley Music YouTube, as well as Love Lag, as well as Critic City. And like I said, hopefully you dig what I'm doing. And if you have any guests that you'd like me to possibly interview, or someone that you hold close to your heart, musicians, actors, artists, whatever, I don't know. I'm just trying this out, honestly, just to waste some time and try to talk to some people, have some fun. And now, Joseph Newcomer is coming on. Ask to unmute.
Trying to get on here. Am I
There he
there?
is. There
Can you
he
hear me?
is. What's up, buddy? How are you? I'm on my
All
Commodore
right.
64, so hopefully it's going through. But
That's techie. That's like too much for me.
nah,
I'm trying to run this on a calculator.
it just means I'm old. How you doing, brother? How's sunny Arizona right now?
It's getting toasty already. We hit a record high yesterday. I think we hit like 99
Man.
for how early in the season. It's like absurd. So welcome to climate change.
Well, do me a favor, Joe. I was talking a little bit about you already, but tell me everything about yourself. I'm just kidding. Just talk about yourself for a minute.
Well, I mean, I know Chris from being in a band called Moss Nova back in the day. We used to play with Sin Dust and our friend Super Number Seven and stuff like that. So that's how I know Chris, and I'm happy to know him because he's a pretty rad dude.
Brad,
Uh,
dude.
but I don't do band stuff so much anymore. And even back then, I was doing a lot of writing. So recently, in the past few years, I started a publishing company because I'd written a few novels and I got an offer on a novel and it wasn't that great. And I was already doing a lot more for myself than they were going to be able to do for me. And that's when my significant other stepped in and she was like, you know what? You can do this for other people better than what they're doing. So now I have like literally the most expensive hobby I've ever had in my life.
No, dude. I think it's a beautiful thing. I've actually bought a couple of the books from Dead Star Press is what it's called,
Oh yeah,
by the
I should
way.
actually use like
Great plug. No, I'm kidding.
I'm not doing well with that, am I?
No, I'm just messing with you. Dead Star Press. So, and you got a bunch of cool stuff going on, man. I've actually sent a few people your way that I told them about you. They're working on some stuff, so you might
Oh
be.
yeah, for like publishing. Oh yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, we do a couple different things. So I'm always looking for submissions for novels and whatever, but we also do smaller like anthologies with prose and poetry and everything in those. So as long as it's weird, that's kind of what we shoot for. We're looking for like dystopian, weird sci-fi, but always like with a vein of social commentary. Think like an episode of The Twilight Zone.
Okay.
That's where we like that's our bread and butter.
Plus, they're not so. Not really in the mainstream, right? Like more like kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the well, there's like there are a lot of weird things going on. There's a lot of pretension in publishing and like there is with anything else. But I think that like there's always been the stigma like if you're writing sci-fi that can't be literary and it's genre work and it's but that I think that's kind of stupid. And
Aren't all critics just failed douchebags in the first place? You know what I
yeah,
mean? I mean, yeah, it's like
exactly. I
And
mean,
it's
if you read Vonnegut, like Slaughterhouse Five, a classic novel, most people know about it. It's sci-fi. I mean, there's like time travel in it, but it is definitely literary, and I think that that's accomplishable by anybody who's writing that has like something they want to say, and they just put it in a weird setting. I
well,
think it's cool.
and that's the thing too. Everybody's easy to like, down something, but do it yourself then, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and
And
that's
I
that's
don't
what we
understand
did.
too why like even anything that's weird, even anything that's like popular or anything, like how anybody can strike it down all these avenues as kind of like a Facebook post or something where don't even comment on it. It's not even worth it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
move on if you're not into
If
it,
you're not
whatever.
into it, just get out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've never understood. I mean, in playing tunes for so long, there's been plenty of people who come in, they're like yell at me or something, and I'll be like, all right, go leave then. I don't care.
Yeah,
It's just
like,
I
why
don't know.
why would that make any sort of difference?
Right.
But you're right. I think I know what you're saying. Like there are so many things that I'm not into. I mean, I don't like love all the music on the radio, but they made it happen, and there are a lot of people that like it. What am I gonna do? Like try to be nasty to every one of those people because they like something I don't like or whatever?
You're gonna
I think
turn on
it's
your own
ridiculous. I think
station or your own. You're gonna listen to what you want. Yeah.
yeah, I think the cool thing that you can do in that situation, if you think somebody um, is just engaging with things that are in the mainstream because that's what's available to them, show them something else.
Well,
Maybe they'll like that too, you
well,
know?
don't. I mean, that's an interesting thing because, like, when I was working my whatever 7 to 5 job or whatever,
That's where I'm at too.
I mean, and that was a long time ago. I quit. My girlfriend convinced me to quit and just play. At the time, I was still working like long hours and still playing 100+ shows a year. And she's like, "Why don't you just book more shows and quit this job?" But like, what I'm getting at, in the truck and everything every day, um, is just terrestrial radio, and it's like
Yeah.
with the amount of technology, I'm curious of like how many blue and white collar jobs are still just listening to that radio. It's weird to me
Yeah.
when literally everybody can just have their own Spotify station they want and pick their playlists and
Yeah, it's strange how that just hangs on. It feels like there's been so much evolution
mhm,
in music and how we engage with music, but somehow that dinosaur of radio is still managing to
right.
muddle through, and it blows my mind. I used to do a lot of stuff with the radio for the I used to manage comedy clubs, and we used to have to take the comedians to the radio stations to plug. But it was like the best way to do it. Like that's how you reach that audience. Like
Was that in Arizona or was that
Arizona and South Florida.
okay? I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Or some of the clubs you did.
Oh, I managed improv comedy clubs, and I was a
Oh,
regional
hey.
manager for out here. The big comedy club in Phoenix is called Stand Up Live. So
Okay.
I oversaw that, and I oversaw the Tempe Improv, uh, which was it's an old club, but the owners that I worked for bought it after it had been kind of run down, and they just remodeled it. It's like this beautiful club now.
Is that
But
the
yeah, I
one
mean, it's pretty cool. I got to meet a lot of cool people, and
I did
it
not
was a
know
lot of work.
that. I did not know that part
Oh,
about
I
your
thought we
job.
talked about that before. I'm
I
sorry.
mean, I don't know. I probably drunk dialed you some night and we talked about it. I don't know.
Some
I
some
don't
of
know.
my
Who
favorite
knows?
calls.
Hey, Joe, what's up? I'm wasted. How you doing?
It's mostly text. I think
That's
that
true.
you're careful about the time difference.
I usually just don't even remember most of the time, but it's so I'm gonna get you to sing. Joe is a singer.
Oh,
I'm gonna get you to sing on something of mine. I don't know what.
just make it like mid range. That's all I got left.
Whatever, dude. That's not true. Is
I could
did
I could sing some Tears for Fears. That's about all I have in me now.
all
I
right.
used to yeah, we used to screaming and doing all that fun stuff, but I've
He
been trying to get Trevor Hooster, who I don't
he's
know
in
if anybody ever
Colorado.
watches it.
He's gonna do it. He's gonna do
Oh,
it
that's
too.
great. Yeah, Trevor,
Trev
he's
Sonic.
wild, but he's such a good dude, and I've been trying to get him to work with me to get a vinyl out of our record, and
Must
and
Have
what I
All.
want to go to Colorado and like do a couple more songs for it, like maybe some acoustic tracks and one of the songs that we never recorded. That would be, I think that'd be so fun, but
Do you still
it's
talk to
tough to
Chris or
nail
any of
that
the?
guy down.
Do you talk to Chris and any of those guys anymore? I mean, very
Yeah,
much, or
yeah. Chris and I are still super close, and I talk to Trevor every once in a while when he's being social. It's rare.
right?
And I talk to Jason Bean, who is the guitarist. We chat every once in a while. I try to make sure that I see them all whenever I go to Pennsylvania, which is generally about once a year.
Do you got anything booked coming up, like any signings or because you just did one back? When did you do that last one?
Oh, signings up in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
I don't have anything cooked up. I think that the next thing we're going to release is this really rough satire piece about America, basically. It's really kind of
isn't
punches
America
misogyny
is
in the
a
face
satire right now, right?
and yeah, and just destroys all of this ridiculousness that we have going on. And that writer isn't from isn't from Pennsylvania, so I don't know if I'm going to do a Pennsylvania trip for that. Um, but I also am going to try to put out another Thought and Other Absurdities. I don't know if you've read that one.
I don't have
Um,
that one. I did every episode that I've done so far. I've done. I'll just do it now. What's the last good book you read?
last good book I read.
Yeah,
I just reread, or I'm at the end of rereading Brave New World by Huxley, right?
yeah,
Aldous
Aldous
Huxley.
Huxley. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean it's brilliant. I mean it's so basically society. It's utopian to begin
right.
with. And you know how utopias slip to a dystopia, but um, it's crazy what that writer was able to accomplish with just knowing how things were moving in a certain direction. Um, he predicted antidepressants in that book.
Yeah, Soma, right?
Yeah, so it's I mean, to even have that
Right.
like in your brain at that point is just incredible. I always love it when a writer puts something in there that's like prescient, like kind of foretells what might be going on and what what how that's going to work out in the future. That's I mean that's really all of the kind of writing that I really like to do. It's actually called speculative fiction. When I always say sci-fi and literary, but it's really called speculative. So
Okay.
guessing kind of like what the future is going to be like.
So you
Um,
like Asimov and like Philip
oh
K.
yeah,
Dick and stuff like. I mean,
Philip K. Dick is one of the best.
agreed.
That's he's I think he's I mean and Margaret Atwood. I think I think all of these people are becoming so are
What's
just
cool,
slipping back into the popular culture because what they've written it, it couldn't be more close to what's going on.
right?
And it's
And technologically too. It's like it's cool that I mean, so many of it's getting the credit. I mean, those were written in the 50s and 60s, weren't they?
right.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I
Or
mean, even before then.
was it?
Yeah. So it's just impressive. I get really excited because there's a couple things that have happened from my books. I mean, I shouldn't be excited because they're terrible things, but it's cool to have maybe been right about it a little bit. But one of them was during COVID. I right before COVID, I released Diminishing Return, which was my most popular novel. And in the novel, time has completely stopped in the future because everyone's obsessed with nostalgia and time travel. So everyone spends all their time in the past, and the present has completely stopped. But as you time travel, you lose your memories. So the main character has become jaded with that, so he doesn't want to do that anymore. He's going to stay in the present pause, and that's what I called it in the book. I called it the pause. And every article that came out like right when COVID hit was government calling what they were doing the pause. I was like,
Oh
that's pretty
man,
wild.
that's
And
awesome.
it really was like it was like time stopped
Right.
when all the shutdowns happened. So that was interesting. And then my most recent novel is called Darkest Day, and the like the book starts after it, but there's a coronal mass ejection that destroys two-thirds of humanity because it like shuts everything down on Earth, and there are nuclear meltdowns and all this stuff. Anyway, 2/3 of the people die. Um, but then like we right after I wrote that part of it in like 2018, and then right after that, every article I read on like science information was we're experiencing this incredibly high rate of solar activity, and there's all these CMEs, and it's shutting like communications down in certain parts of the world. I was like, that's crazy. I've
But
been
every
watching Severance.
dude, Severance is amazing.
It's incredible. It's like watching new Kubrick.
I'm honestly surprised it is so popular because it is such a mind fuck of a show. You know what I mean?
It gives me so much hope for society that is popular.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like, is it popular though because it is so smart and twisted, and or is it popular because Tiger King was popular? I mean, you know what I mean? I
Well,
don't.
there goes my hope. Thanks,
No,
Chris.
no, I don't want to ruin it. That's just my dystopian view for you. No, I'm kidding.
That is hilarious.
But anyway, what I was getting at is like every one I've done so far, I asked the last good book you read. So I actually that was on one of the previous episodes, and that's
That's
one
awesome.
of Joe's books right there. Get that. I went
Yeah,
back.
that one is that's my first novel. I wrote that when I was 17. It was a journal, and my English teacher, and I mean, changed my life. This guy, I didn't care about writing or anything at all, and he was like, "Oh, I really like it," because we had to keep a journal in class, and he was like, "I really like your journal. It reminds me of this book. I think you should turn it into a book." And I was like, "Whatever, dude." And he was like, "No, no, I really think you should." And then he let me borrow the book. And at the time, everyone kind of panned this book, but it was amazing. And it's Ethan Hawke's first book. It's called The Hottest State. One of my favorite books of all time. And now I think people are starting to see what a talented creative he actually is.
Did you ever
And
see Boyhood with that Ethan Hawke was in?
Boyhood, I don't remember that one.
It's Richard Linklater, who
Okay.
did Dazed and Confused and Scanner Darkly, Philip K. Dick,
Mm-hmm.
and they
Okay.
shot it. They shot it over like 15 years.
Oh, I have not seen that yet,
Dude,
but I've
it's
been wanting to see
amazing.
it.
It's long, but it's really cool. It's
Yes,
called
I'm aware of that one. But
Boyhood.
yeah, I think everything he does, he really gets into the art of acting, and I think I appreciate that. But anyway, yeah, that book was so much like El Camino Blue, and it kind of changed how I felt about writing, and I started writing that. But yeah, did you ever see Born to? I think it's called Born to Be Blue. Is that what it's called?
I don't think so.
It's so Ethan Hawke plays. Yeah, it's called Born to Be Blue. It's Ethan Hawke, and he's playing Chet Baker,
Oh, the
and
jazz guy.
yeah, it's insane. He does his own singing in it, uh, and just crushes it.
Yeah.
What's with My Funny Valentine? He does like he records that track a lot, like in the movie, and it's brilliant. I think that movie might be the reason people started to take him super seriously again.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, and I'm a forever fan of Ethan Hawke for sure.
Cool. Like speaking of journals, like my book of the show, I just had to went back to it. Is the old Kurt journals. So I don't know
Oh, cool.
if you don't have it, it's the
I
Kurt.
don't have that.
It's wild, man. And it's been a long time since I read it, but
I've got to get that.
just to see
So
what was on his mind. You know what I mean?
yeah, I have to check that out. I've been doing so since we've started the publishing company. I've been doing a lot of these markets, and I try to do as many events as we can to sell books, but it's difficult because we only have a very small selection of books, and you can't sell tons and tons of just 5 or 6 books, right?
Right.
So recently I started curating a selection of books that I like and that like inspire me and our writers and stuff. So now we have this library of books when we do this.
Just to share the
Um,
love of the other writers and books that you like.
exactly. So I have
That's
Asimov, I have Philip K. Dick and Polaniak and a Vonnegut section of his own, and all these great books. But yeah, I think that Kurt Journals would be a great book to have in there.
that's awesome though, man. That's kind of like I have to, basically tell everybody every episode I've done so far that this is more just selfishness for me to say hi and chat with friends and people I admire that I haven't talked to or seen for a long time. So that's pretty much the whole reason I'm doing this. I mean, we'll probably get like 8 views, but I don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
No, man, I love it. I love doing stuff like this, and it's always cool because it helps promote. But
Well,
it's
that's kind of
definitely
what I was
way
hoping
better.
too. That's what I was hoping too. Like, it's all people that produce, like art and music and, literature and
People that can actually appreciate it because they know the kind of follow through and dedication it takes to get anything done. Um, and not only to get it done, it's I think I wrote a post a long time ago about how um, failure is basically no, success is basically just failing over and over and over again.
right.
And that's all it is. Like it's not like you win at the end. It's just but I think people that understand that and know that like you can do this your whole life and never get anywhere, and if they keep doing it, I think that's
Well, don't you
it's
think though,
impressive.
like society has put literally everybody under the thumb by telling everybody they need to make so much money, they need to do so many things, and it's like this weird badge of honor to like overwork yourselves to death for, I
Right.
mean, and like I literally another reason I want to do this is just because I'm proud of you. It's like proud of the people. I mean, you and your wife started it, Dead Star Press, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah. No, thank you.
the fact is, it's like if you can seriously look inward and realize what the difference of your wants and the difference of your needs are, and still be able to create whatever you want and still survive, then I think that's what it's all about. Because I've seen way too many people, work their 60, 60, 70 years and then croak 2 years later.
Yeah, and I always kind of feel like that's where it's going to end up with me because I don't have like much of an option. I definitely have to have a full-time job, even though I'm doing all this stuff with the press, and it can be overwhelming, and it is overwhelming. But when I'm doing things for the press, I don't really feel like I don't know. It's a different emotion, like it doesn't feel like work now. Like it feels like this is I'm passionate about it. It means something to me. So I really don't feel like I'm like, grinding,
Right.
it's just doing something that I care about. And being able to put other people's work out there has been I didn't I didn't realize how how good that was going to make me feel. Like I thought it'd be cool to find other writers who wrote like me, and find writers who I enjoyed their work, and like try to help them get it out there, right? But I didn't realize how satisfying it was going to be for me to watch their work go out.
Yeah.
Because I mean, honestly, it really does feel just as good to put out one of their books as it does to put out one of mine. I honestly prefer to put out their books, to be honest. It's actually it's a little less work. Obviously, I don't have to write it. I just have to edit it. you
Right.
know.
But
Um,
I agree. I mean, I feel you too, because like, I mean, everything, successes or failures I've had, like I've tried to help younger bands and musicians and stuff as much as I can, just to try to hopefully, I mean, first of all, do what you want to do. You know
right,
what I mean? But second of all, just kind of watch out for all the snakes in the grass too.
man. Yeah, absolutely. That's a huge thing in publishing. People talk to me all the time. I mean, they'll see what we're doing at these events and things, and they'll be like, like how much do you charge to publish a book? And that question comes up way too often. And the reason it comes up so often is because there are all of these people preying on people who are want to be writers and want to have their books published and stuff like this. And so they're willing to forego the logic and reason of knowing that you shouldn't have to pay for that. it's you should get paid for that.
Right.
Now, if you just don't care and you want to pay to publish your book and have nice copies and stuff like that, so be it. More power to you. But I feel like there are a lot of these companies that are just like they'll take your material, they won't edit it or change it or anything. They'll just slap it into a book. It'll not be your best quality work that you could possibly put out, and then they'll charge you an arm and a leg to do that. And
Yeah.
I think it's depressing. It's definitely a capitalistic, like opportunist kind of thing, and it's kind of gross. They're called vanity presses, and that's just for anybody that wants to publish a book or publish any poetry or whatever. Don't don't pay to get that done. I mean, there are certain things you can do along the way. Like for us, we pay royalties, so we can't like pay a big advance because we
Right.
just don't make enough money. But we will do all the work for you, publish your book, do the cover design, do the formatting, editing, everything, get it out there on channels like Amazon and Ingram Spark, and get so the books can be distributed and all that stuff. And then when the books sell, you get a royalty for each one. No one asks, like these other places will ask you for two, 3,000, 4,000, $5,000, and then you get like 200 copies of your book,
Sell them
and
yourself, right?
it's trash.
Yeah.
It's not done right. Um, so yeah, and then but we do try to make a little bit money like when we're doing these. So if an author is interested in doing their own events or whatever, they can buy their book from us at an extremely discounted rate. We make very little money on those copies, but I mean it is a business, so we do have to try to make money.
Yeah.
Um, Otherwise, the government's going to start auditing us because we just
Yeah.
lose money every year.
Dude, my accountant told me the same thing. He's like, dude, you gotta do something here because they're gonna start saying it's a hobby. How are you
Yeah,
surviving?
you can't say it's a hobby. That's the thing, right? You
It's
can't
like
say.
I told him straight up. I'm like, I have a girlfriend. That's how I'd survive. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So hopefully she didn't. So is it like, are you seeing more digital sales than hard copies, or is it actually it's more hard copies still? Good.
More hard, absolutely more hard copies.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, which isn't digital sales are fine. I mean, we make a really, really good percentage when somebody buys an ebook, but I think what we're seeing a big trend of people going back to being collectors of things, which is
Yeah.
fantastic for people like you and I, because when you put out a piece of art, there's more to it than just the words.
There's the
There's the cover
tangible
design,
feeling of
there's
it. Yeah.
everything about it. Like your records. I think I can't remember which album it was that you did like a Kickstarter for or something like that. And then when you sent it out, it was like all of this really cool, like there were like stickers and the cover design was awesome.
I
And I
think.
just remember getting it and being like, this is so good.
Well,
Like this is
thanks,
what I like.
man. Too
I
bad the music
love I
sucked, huh?
love having that. I like even if I don't like a book that I really enjoyed, like here's crazy. I don't know if you saw it on social media, but I found a signed copy of Bruce Campbell's first novel. Well, it's not a novel. It's like a memoir.
Oh, really?
So he wrote this book about growing up with the Rainey brothers and all the crazy stuff that they used to do, and they would like build catapults, like
Yeah.
working medieval style catapults and stuff,
Did he
because
have
they
to
were just
sell that
geniuses.
car in Evil Dead to help fund the album or fund first Evil Dead? Is that
I don't know if they sold that car, but they got it back because it's been in a lot of movies
really?
since then.
That's awesome.
Um, I just saw it in something recently. So it was like some like
Is it the new?
not like not Stranger Things, but like something like that. That they it was Hysteria. Have you seen Hysteria?
Uh-uh.
So Bruce Campbell is a cop in this movie Hysteria, where this town's taken over by they think people are being demonic possession, kind of crazy stuff. Anyway, it's hilarious and definitely worth watching. But that car is in the they just keep bringing it back. I
That's
don't know if it's
awesome.
the same one, but it's like that yellow Malibu,
But that's
like
that's the hardcore fans of that stuff. They every time it's like, oh, it's like the car flip in every trauma movie that's the one scene they redo over and over again. Like
exactly.
all
So,
those.
anyways, I found, and I have his book. It's like one of my favorite books ever. And I picked it up and we opened it up and it was signed and it's like Stay Groovy, Bruce Campbell. I'm like, this is so cool.
Nice.
But I'm probably never going to read that again. But I love having it on my shelf. You know,
Right.
I love knowing it's there and looking at it every once in a while. And just I'm a collector like that, and I find that like when we are in the company of people who do collect, like if we do like a vintage market, like people who are collectors of things like vinyl and comic books and stuff like that, we do so well because people want a hard copy, and I think
Yeah.
that's great.
I agree. I mean, I think it's definitely, and I think, some of the younger generations are digging that too. Like my
Yeah,
stepson, like all his
because it's
friends,
cool.
like they're
It's
all
like
about getting vinyls and CDs and stuff. And it's like for me, oh wow, all my music's in my phone now. It's awesome. But
yeah.
I did never got rid of it. But it's just a wild, I mean, we printed more vinyl than CDs. The band did. Critic City did this
Oh
last
wow,
time.
really?
Yeah, and it's like it's scary because you can't make it back, man. It's
No.
you know what I mean? It's just kind of
I
neat.
used to do that on my I had like a little podcast where I read Thought and Other Absurdities stuff, and I would do like stupid commercials, like fake.
I love it. I mean, I
Yeah.
was a DJ in college and well, we got kicked off, but we had skits every night, and it was we'd get together beforehand, write the skits and sketches and stuff. And it was just one night we
Dude,
told
radio. Go
one
ahead.
night we told we're getting nothing but requests. So we told the audience that all the music on the computer got erased, all the CDs got stolen, except for Rock Lobster, Blame It on the Rain, and Ice Ice Baby. So for 3 hours in between our skits, that's the only three songs we played. And
That's hilarious.
so, well, we thought so, but we were stupid
They did
kids.
not. They didn't think that. They didn't like that.
Some people liked it, but whatever.
I think doing radio really was disenchanting. Like when I took the comics there, because like like when I was a kid, I'd listen to the radio, and Ari, P.S. Ari loves the radio. She loves the radio, not the music, but the shows. Like she likes hearing them do like their little sketches and skits and stuff. But when I was a kid, like they would do all this crazy stuff. Like they would call somebody and like tell them that the person like they caught them cheating or something, and they would call the boyfriend or whatever. That's all fake.
Yeah.
I didn't
Dude, how
I didn't
many
even know.
TikToks and stuff are just so planted and fake? And it's just like, I don't know. I legit would rather watch a bunch of people falling down videos than like this staged video of, oh, she's a gold digger or something like that, all that
Yeah.
fun stuff.
Yeah, it was disappointing to see all that. Like in like every like the guy would be like over here on the phone calling the radio, and they're like talking and like they're acting this all out. And
The
I'm like,
two the two Chinese restaurants calling each other, that one.
oh man, really?
Is there well, I've been working on a new solo record, so I'm gonna try to make it out your way maybe fall or winter. So
Oh, cool.
I
Like
would
to do some shows out here?
yeah, man. Even are you doing any music at all? Not
I
really, huh?
mean,
Busy enough with this.
I haven't touched the guitar. I've been so busy.
And your daughter's comic book trips, right?
Yeah, comic book trips once a month, and dude, I've been trying to do uh, at least three markets a month, and I mean, it just eats up all the time,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like I have to pull back a little bit because I mean, it is starting to take time away from Ari, which is not what I want at all.
Your wife
Uh,
still likes you, right?
yeah, we're still good. She's not sick of me entirely yet.
She's
Uh,
from Erie too, right?
yeah,
That's
that's
what I
where we
thought.
met. We met at the bar where I worked.
Nice. Which bar was that?
Trance.
Okay.
Did you ever end up over there at all?
Probably, dude. I don't. I had so
It
much
was
fun with all you guys over there that most
so
nights weren't
it's
remembered.
Trance was a gay owned gay nightclub, and they had this really nice like dance club out in the front. It was like in the industrial district in Erie, and but then they had a really fancy kind of martini bar in the back, where and then I ended up like managing the whole place with the owners, and I would bartend in the martini bar like 3 nights a week, and I would do all the inventory and all that stuff. But like it was so cool because like Chris Otina and Joe Cimino and all those guys, they would all come over there and hang out.
Yeah.
And like I think it was so good for the community, like because I think people like I feel like when I was younger, I definitely had a stigma about that kind of stuff because of the way I grew up and where I'm from, and it was like the middle of the sticks, and people had the opinions, you
Right.
know, and when you grow up around that, it's kind of it just works its way into your life, you know,
Yeah.
and then but taking that job and meeting the people that I met there and having all those guys come over, like changed my life, and it changed. I think it changed a lot of other people's idea of what it means to be gay or the like how they can be friendly with people who are completely different than them in
Well,
certain aspects of their life.
I mean, I grew up in a small town too, and and I couldn't wait to get out and move to the
Yeah.
city. And honestly, I think the city makes you a better person, makes you appreciate other cultures and other people, and have a little bit of empathy, and not just be scared of the big outside world. You
Well,
know what I mean?
it demands you to be part of a community with people that aren't like you. Like it forces you to into this realm of acceptance because now you're like if you have a job in a small town and there's only the same people there that like they all look the same, everyone acts the same, everyone has the same opinions, you're not going to learn anything about humanity. But when you go to a place like we were like right now, I work for the family who owns U-Haul, and if you're in that office, there's somebody right next to you that's nothing like you, and there's somebody on the other side that's nothing like them or you, and you somehow have to figure out a way to communicate with these other people and to have working relationship, and then you realize, well,
We're all the
these
same anyway, you
we're all
know?
we're all the same. Like no matter what our differences are, like people just have
Right.
there's not that much to
But I do have to
what we
say
want.
though, it was a good thing also. People probably, and you'll probably pshaw this, but Erie had an awesome music scene. It had
Yeah.
great awards shows, and like these guys were rock stars. So like what they said did, man. I mean, that's what happened. And we just had so much fun with all you guys out there
Oh, Erie
back
was
in the
great, and
day.
I didn't I lived in Erie till I was like 4 or 5, and then I moved out to the country, like, and it was culture shock.
Mm.
But moving back to Erie was great. I mean, Erie's not a huge city, but it's big
Right.
enough to where you're going to meet a lot of people that aren't like you. And
Right.
then Phoenix now is like, I mean, it's enormous,
Yeah.
and you meet all it almost it almost like makes you go backwards a little bit because there's like every you don't know anybody, and like you kind of like lose. I feel like Erie was just big enough where you could have like a really like a lot of people, but like still like a tight knit community, and like
Right.
that's how the music scene worked there. Like there were
Well,
so many
everybody's
great
really
bands.
seemed to get along, like even like the bands and the fans and everything. Like not like Cleveland at the time. It was, or
Yeah,
unless it
Cleveland's
was
just a
just
little bit
against
bigger, but
us.
it makes a difference, right?
Yeah, but you guys
And I
are
feel like
always
maybe it's just the competition of it. And I feel like in Erie, the one of
competition
the
was
great
good.
well, one of the great things about the community was there weren't a ton of places to play,
Right.
and I mean you couldn't compete. Like you could, what are you going to do? Play the same venue 7 nights a week? You can't.
Right.
It doesn't work.
That's why you make friends with the good ones, and you play bigger shows and just have a great time with it. That's what
Yeah,
I
you just everybody went to everybody else's shows,
Yep.
and there were so many great bands, like so many great bands. And like I mean, you guys were part of that scene. Like you didn't live there, but you were totally welcomed, and everybody liked going to your shows. And
That's because we bought
it,
everybody drinks.
no, it's
We're
because you guys were
alcoholics.
amazing and heavy and cool, and there like again there were it was a good music scene, but to bring some fresh meat in there where like people weren't seeing the same bands over and over and over again, it was awesome. So I always loved it. Like when an out of town band came in and like got to be part of the scene. I always thought that was really cool.
Plus, I mean, like Sherlock's was just fun. It was a cool club. The sound was always awesome.
I thought it was dirty and and everything you want in a rock club. I think that they just Bev
But
knew what she was doing.
agreed. I mean, we just had so many good times that I'll never remember probably. But that's another reason to do this, right? I'll have Samino do one. I actually
Oh yeah.
I contacted Keith actually.
Oh
He's gonna
cool.
do it. Keith's up in Reno. So
I
I'm gonna
chat with him every once in a while. Fortunately, like we kind of connected on Facebook, and every once in a while he'll shoot me a message and we'll chat a little bit. We're I've always had a lot in common with Keith, and so like when he texts me or messages me, and even if we haven't spoken in 10 years, it's like, oh yeah, like I know you, like because you're so much like me,
he
like
came
we're
out he came out
simpatico.
yeah, dude. I don't know. I'm more excited just to do this, just to see some friends, man, for real, and
Yeah,
be stupid. Dead
it
Star
was good.
Press right there. That's right, baby. Thank you for being on this. Won't keep you too much longer. Let's do a lightning round real quick, all right?
Oh boy, yeah.
All right, since you are a singer, musician, deep down, that's how I met you. What is the first album you ever bought with your own money?
Oh Jesus. Um, record, vinyl,
Just
CD, or
anything,
tape.
whatever, anything.
Okay, one of the very first tapes I bought was Weird Al in 3D.
Nice.
I
All right.
love that record.
Very
I
cool.
listened to that over. My parents were so annoyed.
Did
I'm
you see
like listening to
did you see the movie?
what's that?
Did you see the movie with
I
Harry Potter?
haven't.
It's great, dude. It's great.
I saw some previews that looked amazing.
It's fun. Do you remember what the first book that like really touched you, reached you, and made you be like, you know what? I think I got some of this in me where I should get some of this out of me.
I think there are two, and that I already touched on the one, The Hottest State by Ethan Hawke. That made me go, oh, I can do this. Like this is something that like is very much like what I've already written, and like, made me want to do it. But then the next book that same English teacher gave me was Slaughterhouse-Five, and we were reading books in school and stuff, but they weren't like this. I mean, Lord of the Flies was cool. I enjoyed that, but Slaughterhouse-Five, reading that book made me want to write dystopian, post-apocalyptic, and social commentary, and try to have more like not just surface level what was going on, but like a deeper, valuable meaning. You know. So
Cool.
yeah, Slaughterhouse-Five and The Hottest State.
So who would you say is your biggest influence writing wise? Would I mean if you
But
had to pick?
definitely Kurt Vonnegut,
Okay.
without a doubt. Yeah. I mean, and Vonnegut like plays like so the very first one of the very first manuscripts that we were sent was a book that we've published now called Walnut Ridge by Dan Scammell. He sent us this novel, and I couldn't believe we got something that good that quickly. And the reason I liked it so much is because it was so much like Vonnegut.
Hmm.
So if you're a Vonnegut fan, deadstarpress.com and grab Walnut Ridge by Dan Scammell. And he's got four stories in our anthology called From the Dead. And they're, I mean, everything from a washing machine sex demon to a guy who builds a robot to have a companion, and he makes it out of like a bucket and like sticks. He is so very Vonnegut. And, you know, he's also a little Philip K. Dickish because you get a lot of a little heavier sci-fi in some of this stuff.
Gotcha. Are you do you do any like screenplays or actual like scripts for movies and stuff too, or have you thought
Funny,
about it?
that's what I went to school for. I went to Art Institute of Pittsburgh because they they came to our school and talked to us or whatever,
Right.
and they asked us like what we were interested in. And I told them I wanted to write, and they were like, oh, we're going to have a program called Writing for Film, and you'll be able to major in that. It's going to come the year after you start, but all your classes would apply to it. So I went to school for Writing for Film, and then they dropped it as a major. So I didn't get super into script writing, but I loved when I was able to do. I'm I've always really wanted to turn my novels and my short stories into manuscripts, or plays even. I think that would be I think of what at some point in my life, I will definitely have done that. At least for something small, like a one act play or something like that.
Good. Didn't they? Did they close the Pittsburgh one?
You know what? I don't know if it's still there or not, but it used to be right downtown in this cockroach infested
Right.
mess of a building, and then they moved it like closer to
Oh, they
like
did.
right
Okay.
across the water from Southside, and it was way nicer. But I wasn't there for that, and I don't know if it's still there.
Gotcha. My cousin went there. He's a professional caricature artist, and that's
Oh, that's awesome.
all he does. So when I told him I was quitting my job to do music full time, he high-fived me harder than anybody, I think.
Oh, I mean, that's the kind of support you need. I mean, the fact that your significant other pushed you to that. I mean, it's
I
incredible.
warned her, but I don't know.
But she probably wouldn't have it any other way. You wouldn't be happy any other way.
Oh, let's be honest. Are you happy? No, I'm just kidding.
But I mean, no, like no,
No,
like
I know, I know.
yes,
If
we both are.
it,
We're both probably quite tortured by many things, but
right.
deep down, when we get to do what we love to do, it does feel good, you know.
Have you ever had a chance to like collaborate with a different writer? Or are you looking forward to that, or would you do that? And if you could, who would it
Are
be?
you in my messages? Like, what do you? How do you know all this stuff? So,
I got
I
him. I got accidentally scooped up in the text message, so I
are
know.
you in? are, are you in the chain?
No.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh my God. Yeah. I'm gonna try to not think
If,
about it.
don't spill the beans if it's something. I mean, I was just curious
No, no, no.
if
It's
you are
it's totally
collaborating.
cool. So I I get a lot of ideas, and I don't have time to express them all. Like I have a book I want to write um there was a mailman in New York. I'm not sure where in New York, but he went for like a very long time without delivering any mail. And then he was caught, and they went to his house, and it was like hoarders but with just stacked to the
Everybody
ceiling with
else's mail.
everybody else's mail. His car was full. So I
Wow.
had this idea that I wanted to do a story about how a person would go that insane. And like I picture like um Nick Cage as the character, and he's like lost his mind for some reason or other, and I have some ideas about how that, but like that's one idea. I'm keeping that one for myself. But then I had another idea about
Don't tell anybody your
um,
ideas. Finish your stuff.
no,
Just tell me. I've learned that problem. No, seriously, just
just,
don't tell anybody
no
until it's
one's
done.
gonna listen to what I'm saying. So,
Well,
um,
whatever.
but no, I had a great idea for something that was satirical about society, what's happening right now in government. And so the next writers whose book we're publishing, his name's Bo Montana. He's writing this great satirical piece. If you want to check out his work, go to internetruinedeverything.com.
Okay.
And his writing is it's you'll die.
All right.
It's so funny and so witty and
I'll put these links and
like all
everything in.
satire. What's that?
I'll put these links and everything in the bio and up on the screen stuff
Cool. And so I loved how satirical and like raw his writing is, but then I also loved how eloquent and well spoken and beautiful the way that Dan Scammell wrote in Walnut Ridge. So I texted him. I was like, guys, I have this idea, and I want you two to do it together. And so they it's
Cool.
incredible. These guys are so prolific that I gave them this idea, and now the idea is nothing like. I mean, the
They
very core
transformed
of
it.
it, but it's a totally different thing. And they turned it into an 80,000 word novel in like 2 weeks. I was like,
Jesus.
what the? Like, I can't write that quickly. Like, I don't have that in me.
Well,
So I was really impressed, and what I've read of it so far,
awesome.
it is like just so out there and so wonderful. Like I'm super excited. That's a couple books down the road for us, and
So,
hopefully things will still be just weird enough to make that work.
what would you say like some of your favorite pieces of literature that have been adapted to TV or movies? Like, do you have any favorites of
I'm
that?
Blade Runner. I mean, Philip K. Dick's "Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep" into Blade Runner is phenomenal. And even the next Blade Runner, this newer one
I
that
didn't see
came
that
out,
yet.
oh, it's so well done. And there are so many. I mean, comic books.
Right.
I mean, I love watching Batman movies, give me Keaton any day, Um, Jeez. So what else? Oh, The Man in the High Castle, Philip K. Dick again.
Yep.
Everything that guy has written translates so well.
There's something else on Amazon right now I think it's Electric Dreams.
Have you watched any of that?
I watched like 2 episodes so far. That's
So
the
I
thing.
love
That's the
that.
problem. There's so much content and there's so much stuff out there.
There's
It's
just no
like,
time.
yeah, it's like
You can't consume it all.
it's
You got to be
crazy,
selective
man.
and prioritize, which is I'm not good at. Because here's what I do. I sit down. I'm like, okay, there's like all these movies I want to watch. There are all these series I want to watch, and then I sit down and I flip through for 45 minutes trying to figure out what I'm gonna watch, and then
And
I'm
by the
like,
time
screw it,
it's
I'm
yeah,
gonna watch Empire Strikes Back
right.
again.
Or you're gonna watch that comfort show that like we go to bed every night either to like Stranger Things or Superstore or Parks and Rec or something you've seen a million times where it's not like such a commitment to like totally pay attention, you know what I mean? And
That's a big deal too, because you're trying to decompress and you don't want to tax your brain more. I totally get that. That is 100%. I think that my go-tos are always well, I've been watching Rogue One
oh, I just went
like
back through all the Star Wars stuff. And honestly,
every day.
every day.
I love Rogue One. I seriously have watched Rogue One in the past 6 months, probably 80 times
But that,
easily.
how strange is it that's my favorite of all everything. I mean,
Thank you. I couldn't agree with you. That
and
is the
they
best
don't even
one.
get they don't even get the scroll, you know, and it's like just because it's a story. But all right, now we're really getting into nerd territory here, Joe.
Dude, Rogue One. I mean, you gotta. If I don't think there's any Star Wars fan worth their weight that could possibly not love Rogue One. I, you can complain about whatever else you want to complain about, which they do,
Right.
but Rogue One is perfect.
I don't know. I agree with you. I mean, it's just a fun one. All right, lightning round. What's your
We're
favorite
still
color?
this is I'm
I have
slowing
no,
lightning round.
dude. I'm just making this up. I
I've
don't know.
slowed this way down. I've really taken
No,
it to a
no,
small.
there's not really real questions. I just kind of, if you could change one thing about history, what would it be? Or would you? If it's
That's a really difficult question. I don't know that I would. I think that it would be something very personal because I don't know that like huge dramatic things you go back and kill Hitler. Of course, everybody wants to do that. Um, but I mean, it'd be something like in my personal life where somebody was wronged in a very serious way, and I won't get into like what that specific thing would be, but
I think what
I would do something like that.
I think what you're letting on is growing and maturing because I feel the same way. There's so much of my past that I was just like ashamed of. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
if I can just try to be better every day, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
What book do you wish you would have written? Anytime,
What book do I wish I would have written?
like your
Maybe
legacy, Frankenstein.
Frankenstein,
Oh, okay.
because Mary Shelley wrote the first sci-fi book with a super strong social commentary heart into it. Um, yeah, I mean that's
Wasn't she like 21 or something crazy young too?
she's just a phenom and like underappreciated. I mean, as much as Frankenstein and uh, the lore of that is such a huge thing, she's still completely underappreciated and underrepresented. I don't know. There are probably a million books that I wish I would have written Slaughterhouse Five or any Vonnegut novel or any Philip K. Dick novel or any Chuck Palahniuk. I mean, Fight Club to have written Fight Club. How incredible would that be?
Yeah.
Um, that guy's just off the wall genius. I don't know. I mean, so many. So many. I wish I would have written the Bruce Campbell book so I could have been Bruce Campbell to have written the book.
Right. Well, Joe, I think last question. If you could hang out with anybody in the world at any time period, or anything, who would that be?
Oh man. dude, I, I always want to say like somebody like, that everyone would want to, do. Like, I mean, it'd be cool to like hang out with Kurt Vonnegut or just like, just meet somebody from some historical thing. But honestly, like, I wish I could see like my best friends from high school as more often,
It's
like,
cool,
uh,
man.
I would love to hang out with my friend Brian McCall. We've known each other since fifth grade. If I could hang out with anybody anytime,
Eddie
it'd be him,
Money.
you
You'd
know?
hang out with Eddie Money?
No, not Eddie Money,
Oh,
anybody,
oh, okay.
not Eddie Money. I mean,
Gosh,
maybe, I don't know. I don't, is he cool? I don't,
he's dead. So
oh, well, then no,
I'm kidding. But yeah, he
that'd be
is
kind of
dead.
gross.
Well, Joe, thank you for
So do
being.
people like, when do you answer all these questions that you ask
I
everybody?
don't. I don't.
No, you
Dude,
don't
I
do
don't
it.
even know. I've only done, you're my fifth or sixth, and I literally started doing this last week.
Dude, I love that you're doing it. That's so cool, man. That I think this is a great idea.
Well,
And
thanks, man. I don't
I had
know
a
if anybody will watch it, but if I can, if it gets you one book sale, then I'll be happy. You know what I mean?
oh
I'm
yeah, me
looking at
too. I
more like
mean,
that.
anything.
Plus, I can hang out with you.
Who cares, honestly. It was just hanging, it was cool hanging with you. Actually, a girlfriend's one of my high school girlfriends, a mom who was super like supportive of me when I was younger and tried to help me get El Camino Blue published like right when I first wrote it. Um, she is this, sensitive, artistic, intelligent person, and she did the whole like, I'm done with social media. I'm off Monday, and I was like, man,
The
that
freedom.
that that sucks, and I wish you would stay because there aren't enough people like you on here, and but like, if I didn't have the press, I wouldn't be on here. Like, there's just, it takes up so much time, and it's frustrating, and it doesn't make you feel good.
Right.
And like, sometimes like when I'm entertaining people on there, that I get a lot of satisfaction from that. Like, people are like really enjoying what I'm doing, and like they're laughing along, and they get it, and that, they relate to it or whatever. That's cool. But all the rest of it can go. Like,
Yeah.
it's so bad.
I mean, it's nice that you can kind of follow the things that you want to follow, but I mean, literally, it got to the point where it's like all I want to do is watch puppy and kitty videos, you know?
That's the best stuff. That's like
Yeah.
the that's like
Things that things that make me
the tried and
smile.
true formula.
That's right, man. Well,
All
anyway,
right, man.
Joseph, I will be chatting with you. I'm going to put everything up for you. I appreciate you taking the time to do this. Not like I said, I don't know if anybody's going to watch it, but I appreciate it, and I appreciate you, and I'll get that stuff finished. I promise that
Hey,
I've been writing.
whenever.
I just been
I'd love to get it out there. I think it's a great idea.
it's pretty personal and pretty divisive.
But that's the best stuff.
I
That's the stuff that people like.
But that was the whole point I wanted to do it, is
Yeah,
because just to show how much I have grown, and like I'm embarrassed about my youth, man. I was not a nice person, and
I'm with you. Like, there are things about when I was growing up, man. I wish I could go back and take it all back, but you can't do that. All you can do is be a good person now, and
try to.
try to raise Ari the right way, and make sure that she's nothing like what I was when I was a kid,
Right.
except for the good parts, like that she's got a good sense of humor, and and smart.
And she loves
But
art and comics and nerd stuff like we do, right?
yeah, and just be kind. Like, that's the just be freaking nice to people.
Empathy is not a weakness, man.
No, that's the biggest fucking bullshit thing that's come out since all the bull. That's the bullshittiest.
Yep.
Like, that has got to be the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. And anybody who would think that or agree with that, like, you got a problem, and you need to grow. Like, you need to figure out how you and I got here in our
Right.
lives from what we were when we were kids, and can just get it now, because it's, man, Sorry, that really sets me up. I think that's
No,
just
I'm with you, brother.
obnoxious, man. I haven't everything I write is a everything I write is about how we need more empathy and more compassion, not that it's the problem. Like what's wrong with that? Like I don't understand
Me
where that
neither,
comes
brother. That could be a whole nother 5 hour
from. Oh
conversation.
yeah, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
we'll do
But
that.
I'll
We'll
let
do
you
that
go, man. Thank
we'll
you
do that
so
in the
much for
next one.
having me.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. Dead Star Press, everybody. Check out all that stuff. It's going to be in the bio below. Thanks for watching. If you did, I'm Chris Donley. Don't you have anything better to do? Don't you have nothing better to do, Joe Newcomer?
Not no.
I'm In the meantime, do me a favor, check out all my stuff, chrisdonleymusic.com, lovelag.com, and everything else. But Joe Newcomer, thank you, brother.
Thanks,
Smooches to
brother.
your family, and we'll hopefully see you soon, man.
Will do.
Thanks, pal.
Yeah,